In thinking about your marriage or relationship, do you have certain goals you want to meet? How strong do you feel the relationship is? What do you love about it? And what would you like to improve? If those questions feel like a job performance review, it's not a coincidence. Our next guest is here to tell us how relationship reviews could be the key to building a stronger bond with your significant other. Let's welcome life coach and author Josselyne Herman-Saccio. Hello.
Hi, Desiree. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on, and this is such an interesting topic. So let me know, could performance reviews be good for your marriage or relationship?
Well, I swear by them, and I've been married close to 30 years, and in 30 years, we've had 5 fights. So it's working.
Okay, that's good to know because, originally I'm thinking like, hey, babe, that dinner you made last night, C+. So what would you say to those who might be uneasy with something corporate or formal being applied to love?
Well, I wouldn't look at it as corporate or formal. What I would look at it as is, you want to have an excellent marriage. You want to have a thriving marriage. And anytime you want to have something thrive, you got to look at what's working or what's missing or what's not working. Whether it's your body you want to thrive or your business you want to thrive or your marriage or your family, whatever it is.
Yeah, it sounds like being more conscious about everything that you're doing and applying that. So what's the best way to structure a relationship performance review?
Well, the first thing you've got to put it in the calendar. If you don't put it in the calendar, it's not going to happen because we get into that like daily life mode where things are just happening and you're reacting to what's happening. These reviews allow you to stay in creation mode. People stop creating their relationship after about 3 months, right? Then they just fall into automatic town.
Mm-hmm.
So how I would structure it is always start with what's working. That works. To say, it really worked when you kissed me goodbye on Wednesday morning. That was really nice. And then after you deal with what's working, you deal with what's missing. So what's missing that could enhance our relationship, enhance our intimacy? I kind of noticed that we didn't have a date last week. Maybe what would be missing is a date night in our calendar. Let's put that in this week. So you do what's working, then you do what's missing, and then you do, what didn't really work this week? That morning where, you were on your phone and I was talking to you and you were kind of caught up in your videos. That really didn't work. So I request you put your phone down when we're talking in the morning. So ultimately what you want to come out of these reviews with are promises, like I promise to kiss you goodbye before I leave every morning, or requests. I request you do this. I request you don't do this. So if you can come out with actionable items, you can start impacting your performance in life.
Yeah, so really being verbal about everything, how you mentioned saying the good things that you enjoy and not going silent or being passive aggressive maybe when there's something that needs to change and just addressing that. That makes a lot of sense. And you mentioned earlier on, you've been with your husband for almost 30 years, I believe. You said 5 fights in total. So what's the secret? It's obviously been a positive effect on your relationship.
Definitely, but really the source of our relationship being as great as it is our promises to each other and actually fulfilling our promises. So I have a promise not to fight with my husband. Promising is very powerful if you honor your word. And promising creates a future that wasn't going to happen anyway. When you promise to not fight with someone, that's not predictable. You don't have to promise to breathe. You're going to breathe, it's not something you have to promise, but promising actually creates a reality that you can then live into. It's a very powerful tool.
Yeah, I love that. And congratulations to you and your marriage. You're also the author of 3 books, including The Promise Effect. Can you talk about the power of making promises like you just kind of did and how that can benefit us as individuals and in relationships?
Yeah, well, again, as I was saying, promising is such a powerful tool, and it's a great way to build muscle with your word, because when you promise something and then do it, you're building muscle with your word. So the Promise Effect is a 30-day program that's designed to empower you to create what you want in your life. Not just, it's not relationship based, but it impacts your relationship. So if you want to create courage in your life, a promise might be, I'm going to do something that I've been afraid of doing today. And then you do that thing, and all of a sudden you're building not only muscle with your word, you're creating what you want to create in your life, whether it's courage or intimacy or adventure or whatever you want.
Yeah, I noticed a lot with what you're saying. It's really putting the action behind what you want to improve. So making a promise, taking those actions to do so. When creating a performance review on your relationship, there's just action behind it, having those verbal conversations. Josselyne, thank you so much for joining us today. This was very insightful.
Total pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You bet. You can find more about Josselyne's transformative programs and coaching at theartofbeingunmessableWith.com.